Hi, in this session I will be talking about enterprise architecture and other governance instruments. Let's see what's governance instruments. Outline of this session is about strategic management, including balanced scorecards, strategic execution, quality management, IT governance, IT service delivery and support, and finally I will be talking about IT implementation. In this session gives an overview of current use of methods and techniques in enterprise architecture, and we will be discussing certain techniques and certain methodologies and models in order to manage the existing enterprise architecture. We position enterprise architecture relative to a number of well-known standards and based on best practices in general and IT management. So as you can see in this diagram, IT strategic management stands alongside all the other IT infrastructure and enterprise architecture components, including strategic execution, quality management, IT governance, delivery, and implementation, the components that we talked about in previous slide. Balanced scorecards. Let's see what are they. Kaplan and Norton in 1992 introduced balanced scorecards as a management system that helps an enterprise to clarify and implement its vision and strategy. Traditionally, management focuses has strongly been in financial sector. These two argued that financial measures alone are inadequate to guide the future development of an organization, and that they should be supplemented with measures concerning customer or consumer satisfaction, internal processes, and ability to innovate. So if you exclude these factors out of the enterprise itself, financial factor by its own are not a correct and accurate, and it doesn't really give you a correct and accurate picture of the enterprise. The BSC, for short, balanced scorecards, is comprised of three important parts. It's about a measurement system, is about managing a system, and managing a philosophy. It's not only one of these, it's the combination of all three. It is usually comprised of four different dimensions. Financial consists of financial dimension, internal business processes, learning and growth, and customer. Within every dimension, we are talking about objectives, measures, targets, and initiatives. So what we wanted to know is what is the mission. So for example, to become a customer preferred supplier, or what is the objective, for example, to provide the customer with new products, and also what are the measurements we are using in order to measure our success in improving these qualities, for example, percentages to turnover generated by the new products. To put the BSC to work, a company should first define its mission, objectives, and measures for every one of these four different criterias, and then translate these into a number of appropriate targets and initiatives to achieve these goals. If we look at the role of enterprise architecture as a management instrument, it would be especially useful within the internal business processes perspective of a BSC. Many operational metrics can be tied to a well-defined enterprise architecture, and various performance analysis might be carried out to achieve that. However, enterprise architecture has a broader use. In the learning and growth perspective, a company's ability to evolve, to anticipate, and to respond to a changing environment is really, really crucial. Another important management approach is EFQM. The EFQM, there's a difference between the EFQM model and the BSC model, as where the later is focused on developing effective strategy management, and the former concentrates on measuring the benchmarks and performances of an enterprise or an organization with respect to the number of best practices. But both are complementary. The BSC helps to make strategic choices, and EFQM model assists in continuing improvement necessary to execute these strategies. It offers insights into the instruments or the structure and operations of the enterprise as a whole by creating a bird's eye view of the organization structure, business processes, information systems, and infrastructure. Such an overview is really important when formulating a coherent strategy. The other managing or governing instrument in enterprise architecture is quality management. For example, ISO 9001, which is in fact effectively is known as ISO 2000 standard. ISO 2000, based on a quality policy and quality goals, a company designs and documents a QMS to control how processes are actually performed. The requirements of the standard cover everything from how a company plans its business processes to how these are carried out, measured, and improved. Starting from the general, overall requirements and standards states the responsibilities of management for a QMS. It then gives the requirements for resources, including personnel, training, facilities, and work environment altogether. Then again, this quality management and the quality of an enterprise architecture is really a important instrument. Now, moving on to IT governance, another aspect of IT governance, which is a COBIT, is one example of the IT governance. Basically, COBIT is promising that in order to provide the information that the organization needs to achieve its objective, IT resources need to be managed by a set of natural grouped processes. So it's talking about grouping of different processes that are naturally are in the same category throughout the enterprise. The core of the COBIT framework are the control objectives and management guidance for 34 identified IT processes, which are grouped into 4 domains of planning, and organizational acquisitions, implementation, and delivery and support, and monitoring. So basically, number 1, planning and organization. Number 2, acquisition and implementation. Number 3, delivery and support. And the number 4 is the monitoring. Another governance tool that enterprise architects can use throughout the enterprise is the IT service delivery and support, known as ITIL. This is one of the most important aspects of IT governance or enterprise governance, since it is talking about the support and service delivery of the architecture or enterprise IT architecture. ITIL is the most widely accepted set of best practices in IT service delivery domain. It comprises of series of documentations giving guidance on the provision of good IT services and on the facilities needed to support IT. ITIL has a process-oriented approach to service management, and it provides a code of practice that helps organizations to establish quality management of their IT services and infrastructure, where quality is defined as matched to business needs and user requirements as these evolve. So basically, is a quite good match of quality into their services provided by the organization. And this here you can see the life cycle of IT services that starts with the design of a service, and then after designing the service, we step into transition, which is basically delivering that service, and then we transit this from design into operation. It becomes operational, and then when it's operational, it continues to be operational, and it will be supported by ITIL until it's decommissioned, and then we basically do another service design. This is how basically this works. ITIL key points is basically a complementary to COBITE. It's a high-level control objective of COBITE that can be implemented through use of ITIL. It helps a desk model, for example, complements and provides details on the help desk process, including planning, implementation, post-implementation, benefits and costs, and tools such as that. So COBITE's controlling objectives tell what to do, and ITIL explains how to do this. Another most important, very highly regarded IT governance tool is the IT implementation, or model for an IT implementation. CMM or CMMI, known as the Capability Maturity Model for software architecture or software, is known as CMM, is the model for judging the maturity of an organization software engineering process. So it is a model that tells you how mature an organization is in relation to software engineering processes. It addresses the integration of software development with other engineering activities and expands the scope of the entire product lifecycle, including systems engineering, integrated products and process development, and supplier sourcing. CMMI provides numerous guidelines for assessing the maturity of an organization and improvement needed in various process areas to proceed from level 1 or from one level to another level. Here we can see how the CMMI model works. It consists of 5 levels of maturity, starting from level 1, which is initial, and the highest level, which is an optimizing. Architecture methods typically specify the various phases of architecture's lifecycle, where we define what deliverables should be produced at each stage and how they are verified or tested. Therefore, the architecture method are basically the tools that are developed to control the life cycle and develop the artifact for enterprise architecture frameworks. To make sure that we have a very good understanding of our process in software development, we need to use CMMI in order to make sure we know that where the organization stands in relation to the quality of their processes. And CMMI is a tool to basically perform that.